MSD podcast, Phase 1 Basic CQC, week-long intensive courses over scheduled weekly training sessions. We are getting considerable questions in regard to HQ training, joining, and Camp Todd and Todd Group Thailand intensive courses of instruction, joining from close combat enthusiasts seeking MIL CQC and MSD training the military tradecraft way conducted by military qualified master instructors. Many want to know the differences between joining up at Todd Group HQ or a Todd Group depot and taking a week-long intensive course of instruction. Joining up at Todd Group HQ requires an intake induction attendance, and joining up a Todd Group depot requires an application to the specific depot instructor and being confirmed as suitable for training joining. Todd Group HQ and depot training are weekly scheduled lessons and would take 100 hours or more to achieve an enabling level of competency, capability, and increased confidence. That being the case, it would take 50 weeks at 2 hours a week of scheduled training to complete the mandatory 100 hours of training, which is the minimum required training hours before being able to volunteer for testing. Intensive week-long courses are good for intensity and retention due to the continuous practice duration and high repetition practice, and when combined with post-course immediate testing, skills retention is also considerably higher. We call it living CQC, the MIL CQC training way. It is also good for those that cannot attend weekly training sessions but can take leave and basically get close to 1 year's training up in 1 week. Global new entry exponents join Todd Group HQ and depots exponents on these HQ, Camp Todd, or exported courses to Thailand, our international hub country. Some Phase 1 basic exponents take more than 1 week-long intensive course to be ready for testing, or a combination of weekly HQ or depot training sessions combined with a week-long or more than 1 week-long intensive course of instruction. For Phase 2 advanced, mandatory 400 training hours requirements before volunteering for testing, and Phase 3 specialist 500 mandatory training hours requirement for Phase 3 qualification, as well as completing a specialist close personal protection 2-week-long course of instruction. The week-long intensive courses are a good way to get the hours up required for testing or achieving qualification and rank. Most of our applicants know what they're looking for, have done their background checks and research, and know what they're getting themselves into. Some of them are often serving personnel or former serving personnel or serious enthusiasts of military self-defense and military close combat. The following are some of the comments and questions from general application inquiries. Many say that it is strictly military close combat that they are looking for and not traditional or sporting type variants. Most of those that apply or inquire have had previous experience in wide-ranging civvy styles of self-defense, and many have undergone MIL systems training as part of their training in the services. They want to know that the skills are being instructed by a military high-level qualified instructor qualified in military close combat with a long record of military instructing service. They are getting more savvy, and with the available information we have on the website, podcasts, etc., they are quite explicit that the instructor must be officially military qualified and the skills must have been officially trained to the military, and some are looking for military elite MSD and CQC training. For us, it is good to see that they have taken the time to determine exactly what they want and who they want it from, and them having access to our provided information and transparency in regard to our lineage, instructed systems, and instructors' rank and qualifications makes it plain and simple. The general reality is, in these times, you wouldn't even hear from them if you did not provide information in regard to lineage, record of instructing service, rank and qualification. Most are clear they are not interested in civilian martial arts or competitive codes, and a lot have found out hands-on that the training they have attended has turned out to be bastardized martial arts, and in fact the instructor had never come up through the ranks on military courses, tested and qualified. They found our history, transparency, testimonials and referrals from those that have extensive knowledge and service records to be far from the norm. They commented they like the strict joining requirements and the no backhand salutes, political passes, recognition of irrelevant prior learning, and they expect everyone must complete mandatory training hours and pass testing, as this is how to set and maintain standards. Skills-wise, they say they are looking for complete systems, same systems, with full strategies and contingencies, and it is the European military origins that attract them to our courses and training. They specifically want to learn gross motor skills of threat neutralization that are easy to learn, retain, and provide a quick, simple, effective means of defeating formidable foes. They want to know the tactics and skills have been developed specifically for military self-defense and military close combat, and that they have been instructed to combatants for the battlefield. They know the importance of complete skills, strategies, including full contingency options. They want mill tradecraft training primary practices, not a collection of different styles, hybridized traditional fighting arts techniques. They are prepared to accept the challenges of hard, heavy, and hostile training and testing, and in fact expect it. They know there is no substitute for true battle-proven tactics and skills learnt from a military highly qualified close combat tradecraft training senior or master instructor for the battlefield or under violent urban assault, with the training being delivered the military way. They want a training organisation with a direct lineage of training and instructor qualification from respected military Master Chief instructors. They often tell us through CQC Times, e-magazine, and the Todd Group website, and now our MSD podcast, they have found what they have been looking for in relation to background and credentials, information, and the training they are seeking. Records of official close combat tradecraft specific qualifications are important to them, and in our opinion should be offered if providing such training to the general public in the public domain. We also have been receiving more inquiries in regard to tactics and individual skills, as well as training provision methods. Some have instructor qualification goals and ask us about testing and achieving rank. How times have changed since my early days as an exponent, where it was 2 eyes, 2 ears and 1 mouth, to look and listen twice as much as one would talk, and where questions simply were not asked, as exponents wanted to maintain a low grey profile. We unfortunately get requests for recognition of prior training and rank from individuals and groups we have never trained, and advise them they need to complete mandatory training hours, volunteer for testing, and pass testing phases, and that there is no soft PC options when it comes to proof of competency, capability, and combative confidence. In this MSD podcast edition, the Phase 1 basic training outline and some training-related information will be provided. Firstly, Phase 1 basic is the most important phase of training, especially for civilian enthusiasts, as it provides a diverse range of tactics and skills relevant to civilian self-defense threat neutralization. It also provides all the foundation fundamentals for advanced Phase 2 CQC and MSD training, and Phase 3 specialist CQB, CQC and MSD training. Undertaking training can be by joining a Todd Group HQ intake induction or joining a Todd Group depot training option. The other option is to undertake week-long intensive courses of instruction at Todd Group HQ, Camp Todd, or our international hub country of Thailand. There are also week-long intensive courses conducted in other countries, including South Africa, Germany, and wherever Todd Group instructors are located, or where organisations request and are approved for such training to be conducted. The Phase 1 basic training is instructed in relation to a specific order of effectiveness and in relation to common or likely faced civilian threats, neutralisation. The unarmed offensive assault skill sets are the first provided, as offensive actions stand the first and quickest chance of threat neutralisation. The Brain to Boot CQC and Military Self-Defense Mental Toughness Enhancement Package is delivered at the start or early on in the unarmed offensive assault training phase, as this is the most important attribute required for quick, quiet, effective threat neutralisation. All the skills in the world without intestinal fortitude, inner resolve, and and uncompromising, mentally tough attitude will not best provide the required level of psychological confidence to best employ even the best of battle-proven physical skills. The Brain to Boot mental toughness package developed by the Todd Group provides the capabilities to neutralize expected and unexpected threats by best and safest means and methods, either offensively or counter-offensively. The physical skills alone, without the Brain to Boot mental toughness components, would not best prepare an exponent to deal with the realities of a formidable assaulter and effectively incapacitate them. The most effective form of our unarmed offensive assault is stamp kicking, with the leg being the longest extremity and with the boot being far more resilient than flesh on flesh. After the long-range unarmed offensive assault stamp kicking, the close-range striking strategies are instructed, and all comprise of combination strikes to increase the chance of overwhelming and neutralizing the aggressor. All our CQC actions have been developed with the belief that your assaulter could be bigger, fitter, faster, stronger, highly skilled, and bent on causing you grievous bodily harm. The close-range unarmed offensive assault skills are predominantly palm heel, hand edge, and hard thumbs and fingers, targeting of soft, sensitive targets, including human senses and major bodily functions targets. All the unarmed offensive assault long and close-range threat neutralization capabilities are instructed with full strategies and contingency options. After completing unarmed offensive assault strategies and contingencies, unarmed counter-offensive assault strategies and contingencies are introduced, beginning with primary evasive counter-engagement, followed by secondary counter-offensive engagement and emergency counter-offensive actions. Once again, full strategies and contingencies are provided with all skills. Being of the same system, combinations are fluid through commonality, and as such, they are cohesive and lend to reducing drops in momentum, making employments as seamless as humanly possible in regard to the individual's levels of competency and commitment. Once the initial unarmed offensive assault and counter-offensive assault full strategies and contingencies have been delivered and an enabling level of competency has been achieved, individual exponents will have chosen primary unarmed offensive assault skills that fit with their physical and mental makeups. They will also be proficient at unarmed counter-offensive assault, not only by primary means but also secondary, alternative, or emergency means in relation to threat and situation. At this stage, CQC drills to command will be introduced so as exponents will know the skills by title and execution. This is an important way of mastering not only the skill in full, but also learning it in components to ensure high-level capability and competency is achieved. The next instructed skill set is the prevention of being seized and secured, grabbed or held, and if compromised and grabbed or held, effective escapes combining threat neutralization, incapacitation are instructed. Around this time, inoculation against the effects of contact, impact, means and methods are introduced to increase confidence and capability. The momentum, as in velocity and speed, is increased, commensurate with the exponent's confidence and their achieved levels of competency and capability. Toughness and sickness training is also introduced around this time to further develop an uncompromising, never quit mindset for self-defense and close quarters combat actions on. Anyone can sneak up and assault or king hit an unaware target, but not everyone can endure the initial effects of an assault, make themselves a hard target, and initiate threat neutralization, incapacitation under assault. This is what is developed in training through the toughness and sickness and combat inoculation training. After approximately 50 or 60 hours of training, non-ballistic weapons disarming under incoming assault and also an ambush phase assault held at weapon point or shaft practices and principles are instructed. Short and long weapons, sharp, edged or bludgeon type weapons disarming are instructed under common incoming threats neutralization from all lines and directions. The instruction is by principle-based methods that apply to all such weapons and all lines of travel of the incoming weapon, with the intention being disarm, disable, dispose of the armed threat. The ambush phase weapon disarming is instructed from all flanks and the disarming and threat neutralization means and methods are based on the same CQC MSD tradecraft practices principles, and this reduces the decision-making factors under ambush phase threats. Exponents learn the skills under several different means of practice, initiation, and execution employment to ensure they can deliver with controlled, accurate aggression, always combining their brain-to-boot mental toughness tactics and skills with their physical threat neutralization capabilities. There is training in practice methods for maximum velocity generation as well as for realistic paired training where actions on will produce the same outcomes as real-life actions on employments, ending with the enemy training partner decentralized and simulated threat neutralization that leaves no doubt to what the outcome would be if overkill contact was utilized in the skill execution. These CQC tradecraft training means and methods are most important for controlled, deliberate aggression output and to ensure objective achievement can be proven without the loss of life or limb. The utilization of wide-ranging, performance-enhancing CQC tradecraft training methods and measures to ensure candidates are delivering skills at their best capabilities are addressed by Todd Group MIL CQC Master Instructors. Sudden aggressive shock actions on, BHEs, CQC stands, crowd combat, unfamiliar environments, training including night CQC lanes and blindfolded actions on are but some of the testing preparation tools utilized. The actions on preparation training includes field and urban environments, CQC and MSD training. Exponents that attend all the available training options that they possibly can really best prepare themselves for testing by achieving a most current capabilities ready status. The week-long intensive courses, especially at Camp Todd and at our Thailand facilities, provide day and night training experiences and maximum uninterrupted training hours, and for the dedicated and committed exponent and proponent are a must. Working towards volunteering for Phase 1 basic testing, candidates will increase the momentum, speed and velocity of skills, executions commensurate with theirs and their enemy party's capabilities under strict controlled actions on training. Ground protection and hard boots recovery combined with immediate and continued actions on threat neutralization are standard procedure of accidental or forced decentralization. These CQC tradecraft training means and methods are most important for controlled, deliberate aggression output and to ensure objective achievement can be proven without the loss of life or limb. CQC drills to command practices increase getting closer to a Phase 1 basic test to ensure candidates know all skills by name and execution, and even under duress when fatigued, mid or post Phase 1 basic testing, they must be able to demonstrate all skills to command with high-level competency. The aim of Phase 1 basic testing is for the candidate to demonstrate uncompromising mental toughness, fast and effective decision-making, and fluid action threat neutralization regardless of the situation and environment, terrain and factors of confusion. Under testing, candidates are going to be dealing out some hard, heavy and hostile, close to point-blank range contact against fellow candidates, and as such must be able to control their aggression, be accurate in their skills execution, as well as the levels and required means and methods of proving threat neutralization. What they practice most is what they are going to be best at, and they will be practicing their Phase 1 basic military threat neutralization capabilities until they can draw on them without hesitation and execute them without stalling or losing momentum and without fault. After completing a successful Phase 1 basic test, if the candidate possesses the desired attitude and physical and mental levels of competency, confidence and capability, they would be invited to commence Phase 2 advanced training. Phase 1 basic continuation training is important for all Phase 2 advanced exponents and Phase 3 specialist proponents, as this keeps them at a ready and capable status to deal with common urban self-defense threats neutralization, and also enhances their Phase 2 advanced and Phase 3 specialist training, as all the hard boots, heavy boots, fast boots, actions on, offensive and counter-offensive assault, tactics and skills, foundation fundamentals are part of the Phase 1 basic training. Phase 1 basic training really requires hands-on participation under the instruction of a senior or master instructor that can introduce skills that fit with exponents' physical and mental makeup, and can critique and introduce training means and methods that best enhance the individual combatant's capabilities. It simply cannot be covered in a podcast or in a manual. The important aspects and considerations require specialist instruction, and I hope this outline of Phase 1 basic training provides answers to everyone's questions.